Shalom. First and foremost, like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Wakakadash. Double honors to the elders for preaching this word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And I say shalom to you, Akim, out there. And this is a news article from the Associated Press, published like 1 hour ago, and MSN.com, and it reads, U.S. holds drills in South China Sea, amending tensions with China. It says Beijing from the Associated Press. It says the U.S. Navy and the Marine Corps are holding joint exercises in the South China Sea at a time of heightened tensions with Beijing over the shooting down of a suspected Chinese spy balloon. And it says the 7th Fleet base in Japan said Sunday that the USS Nemesis, if I pronounce that right, aircraft carrier scrub group and the 13th Marine Expeditionary unit has been conducting a integrated expeditionary strike force operation in the South China Sea. It says exercise involving ships, ground forces, and aircraft took place Saturday, but give no details on when they'll begin or whether they have ended. It says China claims virtually the entire South China Sea and strong objects to military activity by other nations in the contested waters through which a 5 trillion in goods are shipped every year. It says the U.S. takes no official position on the sovereignty in the South China Sea, but maintains freedom in navigation, and overflight must be preserved several times a year. It sends ships sailing past fortified Chinese outposts in the Spratly Islands, prompting furious protests from Beijing. It says the U.S. has also been strengthening its defense alliance with the Philippines, right? Because I believe Lloyd Austin, either it was Lloyd Austin or representation of the military from the United States. They was going to deploy more U.S. soldiers and more military presence and more alliance with the Philippines. And I believe that was like about 2 weeks ago, I believe. So I just want to add a note to that. It says the U.S. also has been strengthening its defense alliance with the Philippines, which has force and encroachment on islands and fisheries by the Chinese Coast Guard, and normally civilians, but the government-backed fleet. And it says the U.S. military exercise was planned in advance. That comes after already tensions between Washington and Beijing has been exacerbated, if I pronounced it right, Salakia, by a diplomatic row sparked by the balloon, but which was shut down last week in a U.S. airspace over the coast of South Carolina. And it says the U.S. says the unarmed balloon was equipped to detach and collect intelligence signals, but Beijing insists it was a weather research airship that have accidentally blown off course. It says the incident prompted Secretary of State Anthony Blinken to abruptly cancel a high-stake trip to Beijing last weekend, aiming at easing tensions. It says, after the first issuing a high rare expression of regret over the incident, China has toughened its rhetoric, called the U.S. move on overreacting and a violation of international norms. China Defense Minister refused to take a phone call from U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin to discuss the matter. It says the United States has since blacklisted 6 Chinese entities, right? And they use sanctions on that as well too. And I did a video lesson on that about a couple of days ago. It says the United States has since blacklisted 6 Chinese foreign entities. It says were linked to the Beijing's airspace program as part of its response to the incident. It says the House of Representatives also voted unanimously to condemn China for a brazen violation of the U.S. sovereignty and the efforts to deceive the international community through false claims about the intelligence collection campaigns. The balloon was part of a large surveillance program that China has been conducting for several years. The Pentagon says the U.S. says Chinese balloons have flown over a dozen of countries across 5 continents in recent years and learned more about the balloon program after closely monitoring one shot down near South Carolina. In its news release, the 7th Fleet said the joint operation has established a powerful presence in the region, which supports peace and stability. As a ready response force, we underpin a broad spectrum of missions, including landing Marines ashore, humanitarian disasters relief, and deterring potential adversaries, which is China. It says, though visible and present combat power, the release said. And this is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 7, and it reads through the Holy Scriptures. It says, this is the book of Mark 13:7, verse 7, and it reads, and when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, which is the rumors of wars between the tensions increasing between the United States and China. And I'm going to read it again. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must need be, but the end shall not be yet. Right? These increasing of wars and rumors of wars and increasing of these military exercise drills, just in case these nations do these heavy increasing military drills, just in case they be under enemy threat or potentially under attack, then they'll be fully equipped and be trained, and that's what we're seeing, a high increase of these joint exercise military training, And it says Luke 21:9, verse 11, a reference precept to Mark 13:7. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 9, and it reads, but when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be ye not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Luke 21:10, and it reads, then say he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And verse 11, Luke 21:11. And it reads, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. A similar precept, Matthew 24, verse 6 into verse 7. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Right, and that's what we are seeing, the increases of nations shall rise against nations and kingdom against kingdoms. This is Jeremiah 51:46. At least your heart faint in fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall become 1 year, and after that another year shall come a rumor and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Right, and that's what we are seeing. The increasing of the rumors, years of the increasing build up of the rumors of war, rumors of war, commotions of wars, proxy wars, increasing of these wars and rumors of wars between the nations, ruler against ruler, two different nations of rulers. And that's what we're seeing, nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom, especially with the increasing of the wars and rumors of wars, with the, with the military exercising, and then with the increasing of nuclear capability, of these nations, which you could read that in Joel 3:10, I believe. Let the weak say I'm strong. So you're seeing the scrim from, the North Korea, Iran, China, and Russia, and then you got the strong military alliance of United States, South Korea, and Japan versus North Korea, and then you got the China versus the United States over the South China Sea. So those are increasing buildup of wars and rumors of wars. And as you have this latest news article right here, even though it's just a military drill, but that's still a rumor of war. The reason why I say that, because as I got through reading the news article, you still got the increasing tensions between Washington of the United States and Beijing of part of China. That's a rumor of war. And then you got the exercise drill right here, what the U.S. hosts drills with South China Sea, amending tensions with China, right, with the latest incident with the shooting down of the Chinese spy balloon, which they call it, So that's a rumor of war. And then China accused the United States of heightening these tensions. And then China responded back furious about that. So, that's a rumor of war. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, ruler against ruler. China versus the United States. And that's what we're seeing increasingly, So with that, hopefully this sit-down lesson was edifying. As this news article came out from the Associated Press 2 hours ago, it says the U.S. holds drills in South China Sea, amending tensions with China. So with that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem B'Karkadash. Double honors to the elders for preaching this word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say shalom.